What is up, my Lorcana Goons, and welcome back to the Lorcana Goons channel. It is Friday, January 17th, and we're going to go over the market trends, the Lorcana news, and the card prices. My name is Kevin. You're watching the Lorcana Goons channel. Welcome back. We're joined with Zach Stone up here, who joins us every Friday. On Mondays, we do the Market Watch. On Fridays, we do the longer Market Watch with Zach Stone. And this week, we got some news to talk about, like the Store Championship Scar, Heartless Hunter, that's coming out this weekend. I believe some stores did actually have a set championship last weekend, too. But basically, at least over here, you're going to be able to win these over the weekend. And there's some listings already on eBay and on Facebook Marketplace of people selling them for around $200 to $100. And before we get into the Market Watch, Zach Stone, we have an announcement. You said we had some friends from Luxury go visit you at Frank & Sons. So what happened?
Well, yes, if you guys didn't know, the North American Continentals brought everyone to beautiful Southern California, and some closer friends of mine and closer people to us in the Lorcana community stayed a little extra just to come visit me at my booth. And I kind of want to shout them out. Shout out to Luxury Gaming, the owner Nicholas John, who owns a card shop in New Jersey. We'll have the description down below. And they wanted us to give away one of their play mats, guys. So you can enter this giveaway by liking and subscribing to our channel and commenting on this video your favorite Disney Lorcana card of, anything that's current, anything soon to be released, whatever. We are thinking about doing this giveaway more towards like the end of the month, kind of like play it along for a couple of weeks. But make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. Make sure you tell us your favorite Lorcana card to be entered in this giveaway.
Yeah, awesome free match. Shout out Team Luxury. Really appreciate you guys for always supporting Lorcana Goons over here and for helping us with this giveaway. So like we said, like, comment, make sure you're subscribed, leave a comment on what your favorite Lorcana card is up to date, and you can win this lovely luxury mat.
And yeah, the price of this scar today, I think, is a little bit too high. I mean, we're seeing a price right now at 175 between a 120. And are open to best offers. So just keep in mind that you can always kind of like name your own price on these kind of platforms. But I think that's a little too pricey. We saw how much the Maribel kind of settled at once everyone had their set championships kind of played through. We saw this kind of spike up just recently, going up from 25 to 30 to 40. And now, settling around the $50 mark. You got one seller, medium end, at a $40 price, and you're paying a little bit more as the availability goes up. So yeah, Kevin, what are your thoughts on the Mirabelle?
I like the Maribel. I actually didn't get a chance to win any. I was just busy every weekend, basically, is what it felt like. So I only had maybe, I think, one chance to play a set championship, and I don't even think I got to play the whole tournament for whatever reason. But it's a cool card, and the fact that it was selling for around $25, I thought was outrageous. So to see it back up at around $40 to $50 is very reassuring, I guess, that to the Lorcana card market, I think, because at the end of the day, this is an alternate art. It's an enchanted rare. It's a nice card, and I think there should be more like affordable foils like this, in my opinion. So at around $25 to $40, I still think was a good price for an enchanted rare, because there's not that many that are that price outside of some locations. Like Belle's House is like $35, Cusco's Palace is like $35, but this is an actual character, and it's a very beloved character too from a franchise. So we were talking about how I wanted to get one of these signed by the Maribel in Disneyland. Actually, I was shout out my friend Jeff. He was giving me the idea, and I was like, wow, I didn't win any Maribel promos, and now they've gone up. So if I want to get one signed by the Maribel at Disneyland, like, I need to buy one now, and it's like double the price than it was like a couple weeks ago. But yeah, very rewarding if you're somebody who won one. You have to get top 8 at your store championships to get one of these promos, and same thing with the Scar promo. So I imagine it's going to go down in price too. I'm just going to shoot a number out there. I'm thinking it's going to settle at around $50 to $70. This one for sure is a little bit more I sought after than the Maribel was, for sure. I think a lot more people want the mat and this Scar than they do with the Maribel, but Maribel probably might see more play in the future, actually. I think the Scar card is kind of buns. I wish it was inkable. If it was inkable, it would be so much better. But the Maribel is actually playable in like a crazy like meta, right? You know what I mean? It's an Amber card, but another Amber card we can talk about that's around the same price is the non-foil Rapunzel from the first chapter. Still pretty expensive. Lowest verified is $45.99 by Starcraft Collect right there for your Rapunzel. And check this out. There's a Chinese Rapunzel listed on TCG Player now. And it's still $40. So Chinese Rapunzel, English Rapunzel, you're still going to pay a lot for a Rapunzel no matter what the language is. That's pretty neat, don't you think, Zach?
I am very kind of I'm not hesitant, but I'm like curious to see if this is actually going to be more of a reflective to what the actual market is. I'm not too sure where to go look at how much it sells for in China. I'm not too keen on any specific websites, but they are tournament legal, and that's something to kind of consider if you are planning to potentially use some of this. I know some people ordered some Chinese and Japanese first chapter here in the States. So if they pull some things that they were missing for some decks, I know you get the pass to play with them, of course. You just will need a translation available. So make sure you have one written or printed on a piece of paper readily available. Yeah, it's still, this is like one of the strongest cards to come out of the first chapter. We're looking at it as a staple, one of Amber's very few draw cards next to Surfer Stitch, which also comes out in the first chapter, but doesn't see a lot of love, unfortunately. But
Before you move on, Zach, before you move on to the big Sisu, I just want to mention something because this listing says right here, Rapunzel in Chinese. Card stock appears to be thicker, but official German Discord said Chinese and Japanese cards are 100% legal to be played in the West. So, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Zach, but I read this part right here. Card stock appears to be thicker. Like literally before this call, I told Zach that I got a Chinese Mickey through TCG Player, and I thought it was fake because the card stock is really thick. Like it reminds me more of like a Pokemon or a One Piece card. It's really thick. But now that I'm reading this, that the card stock appears to be thicker, I don't know. Maybe there's a world where this one's also not real. I doubt it though. Or maybe the card stock really is thicker for Chinese cards. Chinese Mickey came in. It feels really funny. The foiling feels funny. It doesn't feel like a Lorcana card from over here. There is someone who has a Chinese Mickey that comes to the booth. Hopefully this weekend I see him and I can ask him to see his so I can compare and contrast. And I will let you know how I feel about the authenticity of this Mickey. Worst case scenario, we get it graded and see what happens. But yeah, so card stock thicker on the Chinese cards, Zach. That didn't mean to interrupt you here, but you know what else is thick? Big Sisu. Sisu, the empowered sibling. Gonna be selling today for $35. Wow. That's a very thick price. Oh my goodness. Actually $40. What is happening? This was a $15 card like 2 weeks ago. Oh my goodness. On Monday. On Monday, when I did the market watch, remember, I pointed out, rightfully so, that the foils were cheaper than the non-foil Sisus. So I hope you guys got them deals. I hope you guys noticed them deals and was like, I got to cop these. Lorcana Goons market watch, they pointed out, rightfully so, that this card was moving. And now today, lowest verified is going to be $33.77 with $5 shipping by Joey's Pokeshop. And then Iron City Games has it for $39.98 with shipping included. That's a $40 card for your big Sisu, and they jump to as high as $50 almost at the bottom of the page. So I don't know. What do you think? Does that get them now before they hit 50? Try and get them for less than 40. That's my opinion.
A lot of people have been telling me that Ursula's return has seemed kind of like bad to pull, but I think cards like Sisu and Diablo are still really good incentives to try and crack some of these packs. And I think some people are realizing that not so many packs are being opened. There's a lot more of that product that is still sealed, which creates more of a demand for the singles. Less supply, more demand. It's kind of how it works now with Lorcana. When it comes to the product, there is a plenty of supply to meet the demand there, but there's not enough singles to meet the demand there. So
Yeah.
that's what's going to come next is people will have to open some product to get some more of these cards, and we're seeing a lot less of this being opened, which does reflect the price. As long as it's also a playable card, I think it's safe to say most of the cards that dip below a certain number are better pickups, and this is definitely proven to be one of them for sure.
Yeah, a lot of the Ursula's return boxes have been available on TCG Player, Amazon, even eBay for around $80, $90 even. Especially during the Christmas season, there was a lot of deals on Ursula's return. So if you ended up getting, I know I bought some starter decks. I bought a box or two. And now I'm thinking about opening it up because this Sisu is looking kind of nice, right? Let's talk about some other cards that are popping this weekend. Maui Half Shark this week is going to be selling for $36.62. Finch and Sparrow, lowest verified. Huge shout out Finch and Sparrow, who makes a cameo in my friend Bag's video that just came out. So go check out a Bag Plays Games channel, because if you want to see us do some vending, if you're into the market stuff, I vend Lorcana on weekends at Ninja Exchange in Carlsbad, and my friend vends Pokemon there. His name is Bag. He has a YouTube channel for that, and you see me in the background, doing my stuff. Hopefully, eventually, I'll be able to record some stuff there too. But Zach also vends. Zach's vending at Frank and Sons in the city of industry on weekends. So if you want to come visit us or support the game through some local vendors, hit us up. But yeah, Maui Half Shark, $36, back at $35+. It's been going up since the Continentals results, right? Every red blue deck was playing some type of Maui Half Shark. I'm surprised there's no Enchanted Maui Half Shark, and I'm surprised this card is still only $50 for the cold foil. To be honest, Millie's Card Emporium, $50 with $1.39 shipping. I don't know about you, Zach, but it feels like everybody's playing either blue red or blue red. It just feels like everybody there's a Maui Shark at every locals, if not multiple, man. Again, I'm surprised this cold foil is still this cheap. Sometimes I remember how expensive the Beast cold foil was when Emerald Steel was like the top deck in the meta. These were selling for as high as 60, 70, even almost $80 at one point for a cold foil Beast Tragic Hero. They have been coming down though. I feel like Steel is in a very different direction nowadays. You don't really use this card to draw as much in Steel decks. I feel like it's a little bit slow now for a turn 5 character because we don't have a shift Beast target. They need to give us like a turn 1 or turn 2 Beast, and then this card will be absolute gas again, right? But for the time being, less than $30, a pretty good deal right now compared to where it used to be as high as $50 in October. Right now, $27 with $1.12 shipping by VA Sells. So if you have like a mid-range Steel deck, you might want to use this in maybe an Emerald Steel deck. I think that's probably what people are using it for. A lot of these Steel decks have been using Dock though. Dock seems to be the draw engine of the format nowadays. Cold foils for Beasts are still pretty expensive, $55. Bulbadine has them for $54.98 with shipping included. Zach, are you using Beasts in any of your decks right now?
I don't have any like current decks built, but I do kind of want to mention and shout out Harlan Sweet, who's been an advocate and a pilot of Blue Steel, and has been pushing the Blue Steel aggro deck for quite some time now, and does play a couple copies of this beast in his deck. So I think for what it's worth, that this card does see some play, and that remains in the meta, right? Medusa's been kicked out, and this was a prime Medusa target, so this does have some extra card draw for the Steel decks, and Blue Steel I think is a perfect fit for that. Being have access to cards like the Cogsworth, giving it resist. Alice can give this card ward to protect it from the Medusa, and I think that is a strong reason to consider this still in the meta. But yeah, I mean, I haven't played it in a while, and I kind of miss it. So you might make me make the Blue Steel deck just to have some fun. A card that wasn't played in the winner's deck list was Genie Wish Fulfilled, and everyone kind of said that the Genie Wars would be prevalent, and I think they were. I think they 100% were. I just don't see that they were needed in the Ruby M list because the price is definitely reflecting like it is part of the meta. Kevin, did you run any Genies in your list?
I ran 2 genies. I actually felt very validated because I went 4 rabbit 2 genie ratio, and I wanted to cut genie out entirely, but I don't know. I let the internet convince me genie was good, and like it is good. It's just not the card, in my opinion, that you necessarily need in Ruby Amethyst. I think Ruby Amethyst can win in different strategies in different ways, and you play 4 copies of Brawl in Ruby Amethyst. You could even just play Medusa. Ed didn't play Medusa in his list, but you can play Medusa if you want, which is a perfect genie target. But realistically, like if you're shifting big Sisu, that's also obliterates genies. So there's a lot of things that Ruby Amethyst can do to get rid of genies where other decks can't. If you're playing like green purple, then you probably do need genies to contest opposing genies in blurple decks and purple steel decks or something. If your deck consists of cards like Elsa Fifth Spirit, Belle Accomplished Mystics, you probably do want genies in that deck because one of the best things you can do is utilize Elsa to hit evasive characters with genie, or you can even use Belle to hit genie. He has 4 willpower, so he'll be able to survive most challenges, and that Belle will just generate you a lot of value by moving those damage counters onto an opponent character. So I think in those decks, Genie's really good. However, in the winning list, I think Edshu definitely metagamed the tournament, made a very good strategy. Played against a lot of blue-red. I played against a lot of blue-red. Didn't feel like there was a lot of genies. Didn't feel like there was a lot of genies in that room, Zach. I'll be real with you. But in general, it's a pretty good card. I don't see it really being like the meta-defining card as it was, though. I think a lot of people need to really give Edshu's deck list a chance and really, appreciate what he did with it, because I think it has a good matchup across the board if you can tweak a little bit. But yeah, man, Genie's such a great card. Cold foils are going to be selling for as high as $27 today. Still not $30 anymore. They came down a little bit, but Villain Gaming has them for $26.95 right there. Strength of a Raging Fire. I love this card. This card was everywhere throughout the weekend of Nationals. $10 lowest verified by Crazy Deals. 10.05 right there. They have 2 of them for you. Non-foil Strength of a Raging Fires. These come out actually in your Ursula's Return gift sets or whatever. The Lumineer's Quest. There you go. Where you gotta fight Ursula. So there's a free $10 card in there alongside some other cool cards that come in that set. Cold foils are $20. The game capital $20 for your cold foil Strength of Raging Fires. Look at this. Be prepared. It's going back up in price a little bit. That was verified. Is now $9. We have $8.92. Sorry, $9.91. StarCraft Collect shipping included. That's $10. Be prepared is back up to a $10 card. Love to see it. Shout out Ed Chu playing 4 B prep and 2 big Sisu in that deck. That was wild. 20 plus dollars for your cold foil B preps though. Look at that. They went up a little bit this week. It's going to be $21.63 with $2 shipping actually by Midgard Comics and Games, and then Columbus and Card Shop. $23.21 shipping included for your Be Prepared. Oh, Chinese Be Prepared. I just want to look at the Chinese cards now. Chinese B prep looks so cool, right? Love it. All right. Doc Bold Knight. Check this out. These are selling for $8 now. $7.95 shipping included by JR Cards right here. Cold foil docs are selling for $14. $14.14 with 75 cents by Rippin' Ain't Easy. Shout out you guys. Zach, I like Doc. How do you feel about Doc? Some people say Doc's not good.
I mean, it has to kind of work in the deck that you're playing, right? Not every deck can play Doc, and I think people actually need to consider their deck choice or their card choices when they actually incorporate this card in their deck. More lower to the ground strategy, something that's going to be able to play very fast and empty out their hand, is a deck meant for Doc. Anything that plays like cards that cost 5 and more, I don't think have room for Doc, in my honest opinion. I think on turn 4 you want to have a 4-drop, and on turn 5 you want to play a 3-drop, play a Doc as your last card, and draw 2 cards. And another card that fits well into Doc strategies is Calhoun. The Uninkable Marine Sergeant is sitting at $7 today. If you want to pick up some of these Calhouns, which have been steadily going up, I think that Zan played copies of this card in his green steel deck. So we're seeing more tempo needed in those sealed cards, and this card does apply a lot of pressure. Being able to remove a character and play and gain lore, I've always felt is a powerful mechanic going back to set 1 with characters like Aladdin and Taka. But cold foil ones are about $15, and I honestly think that this card could go up even more. Kevin, how about you? What do you think about this?
Honestly, whenever I see Calhoun, I only have just like one regret for Nationals because it reminds me of Nationals. Like I feel like I should have played a purple steel deck with Calhoun's in it, and then called it the deck Calhoun's Goons, and that's my one regret. Is that because I could have played one copy of Goons at Nationals, and it just didn't click with me. I just wasn't locked in, my Goons. I'm sorry, I let you guys down. But I like the card. It's a really good card. I think one of my favorite things is when you play this card against an aggro deck, it just tells them you can't quest, because it has resist too. So a lot of aggro decks only the characters that are questing for 2 usually only have 1 strength, like Maleficent, Daisy Duck, Lilo. So it just shuts them down for at least 2-3 turns. And if you're not playing removal, then your Calhoun just lets you get into that later game. If you're playing an aggro strategy, like you're saying with Docs, this is a great turn 2 character. Not only does Calhoun have 3 strength, so it'll contest crabs and foxes and stuff like that, but it has resist, so it'll let you quest against a lot of like 2 strength characters as well. So pretty cool card. I like it in my Amethyst Steel aggro decks, like Zach was saying. I also really like Chernobog's followers in those decks, and this is now a $5 uncommon. Oh my goodness. At least going by verified sellers, right? 406 with $1.27 shipping by Picante TCG. Some non-verified sellers do have it for a little bit cheaper, $2.79 with the dollar shipping. So you're still gonna have to pay around $3 to $4 per each Chernobog followers. Love to see it. One of the best cards in all of Lorcana. $9. Actually, scratch that. We have a non-verified listing for $8.45 with $1.22 shipping by Link Cards. Then it jumps immediately to $12 with $1.50 shipping. And our lowest verified is Play to Win Games for $15 for each Chernobog's followers. Cold foil. Wow, that's really crazy. Zach, do you have these? Because you're a foil maniac, Zach. Do you have these already?
My goons, and Kevin. Yes, I'm an advocate of foils. I have my cards that I keep in play sets. However, I had my arms up the moment you showed me the price on the $5 normals, because I said it like the weekend before, or the week leading up to the weekend before Continentals. I want $5 for my Chernobog's followers. There's no way that this card isn't going to be one of the most played cards into the next event and into the set. This card I think is very, very powerful. Blurple, green purple, Rubiam, any sort of purple strategy, even yellow purple, right? We saw Diego Saz's yellow purple list pilot. At least 3 or 4 of the copies of this card.
Hyper
So
aggro purple.
it is the uncommon that took Flynn Rider's place in the very beginning, and we're seeing this one kind of even outdo Mr. Smee, right? Coming from the same set, so I just kind of had my arms up because I even called it. I think $5 on this was more than fair, and we're kind of looking at where the price is. So it goes to
Yeah.
show that some of these cards, whether or not the market does reflect or not, there's a feeling that I have about certain cards, and this was one I had a feeling of, so I feel very validated.
Yeah, you did mention it. You did mention it like two market watches ago. Which is really interesting because I mean $5 for an uncommon. I mean Lorcana's getting there. Like you said, man, a lot of people are collecting, they're playing. People aren't buying packs though. So like now the singles they're very scarce. It's time to start ripping some packs though. Sisu, the emboldened warrior, the rare, going up in price a little bit still this week since the nationals lists have been running around. Ruby Amethyst still very popular. It's about a $5 card now. 375 with $1.27 shipping by Heroes Quest. $5 for your non-foil Sisu Emboldened Warriors. Cold foils are going to be double around there. Non-verified sellers have them for around $11. 10.74 with $1 shipping. If you're going through verified sellers though, $15 by Plain Talk GP. So I mean, look at this. Personal opinion, yeah, I think Sisus are going to be closer to $15 for a cold foil, especially after like how relevant it is in the Ruby Amethyst deck strategy that Ed Chu won with. Madame Medusa going up in price just a little bit this week. This is now a $3 to $4 card again. They used to be less than $2, now $2.14. Lowest verified by Villain Gaming with $1.27 shipping right there for a Madame Medusa. What are cold foils looking like though? Cold foils are less than $10. Lowest verified is $6.96 with $1.27 shipping. That's around $8 right there by Warp Storm for a cold foil Madame Medusa, which has been coming down. They used to be around closer to $15, and they're still pretty cheap now. Lady Tremaine, however, just been going up this week. We saw Edmund Chu play 4 copies of Tremaine, no Medusa, in his winning the Ruby Amethyst list, and now this card is at least $3. This used to be like a 50 cents a dollar card. Now Iron City Games, lowest verified, has it for $2.38 with $1.27 shipping. Personally, I'm not getting rid of these for anything less than $3 each. This has an enchanted rare as well, so cold foils aren't super expensive, but they did go up a little bit over this past week. Lowest verified is now $9 by Buy It Now Games. $6 for a non-verified seller with some extra shipping though. So it's a $9 cold foil and a $3 non-foil in my opinion. Merlin Rabbit, this card is super cheap right now. I feel like this card is underrated. They used to be around $5 each, and right now you can buy them for at least $2 to $3. ABC's TCG has 72 of them ready for you to go right there. And I don't know. I think Rabbit is still just as good in a lot of other decks than just Ruby Amethyst personally. But Merlin Rabbit cold foils are still pretty expensive. There's not that many listings available. Lowest verified is going to be for the Win Games, $20.38 with $1.27 shipping for a cold foil Merlin Rabbit. I want to talk about Baloo. I really like this card in Amber Steel. Zach, how do you feel about Baloo and Amber Steel? Because right now you're still selling for around $1. Lowest verified 99 cents with $1.27 shipping. Almost $2 actually. Cold foils are what, $2? Not too bad. Do you have any cold foil Baloos in your deck?
Uh, so funny enough, the inkdex.com was crowdsourcing and finding lists that placed anywhere in the side events, and I did get 8th place at the Saturday 9 a.m. and I played 2 copies of Baloo in my Ember Steel deck. So if you guys want to check that out, it is available on inkdex.com. The list will be linked in the description below. And yeah, I honestly love this card. In all my testing and most of the meta found this card to be very oppressive, even when you're not against red blue, which is what you want it for. You can still play this character and it sings your 3-cost songs, and it kind of threatens like lore gain, right? No one feels good getting rid of it, but when they have to, you feel better knowing that they kind of got rid of a like an action card just to get rid of your blue, right? And it's something that like played into the big Sisu more. You would try to aggressively gain lore in that matchup, and Baloo is to help counter the Pirate's Life, because you're usually able to get to 20 on your own pretty well. However, the Pirate's Life can set you back, but when you find cards like Baloo, you're able to just kind of pick up that reach again, and it kind of like stops them from pressuring you. Plus, in combination with Pete, you can just blanket your whole board, protect some of your other aggressive lore gain characters, and just kind of like have a bodyguard there I know some people were testing the Musketeer Soldier Donald Duck. I found this card to be a little bit better because while you have no cards, you can kind of just win the game by playing Baloo and Zeusing your own Baloo and gaining, getting the Lord of 20, and which happened a couple times that weekend. And yeah, this card did very well for me. I don't necessarily think you need to play it, but it can be a heavily consideration into how you build your deck. And if you guys wanted to try it for yourself, it will be available.
Nice. I'm really glad you did well with it. I'm a Baloo believer myself. I like the idea that when he's banished, you gain 2 lore. It's kind of like a Merlin goat extra. And you yeah, you actually just tickled a little part of my brain where I was like, wow, I didn't realize he's a 3 cost that can sing 3 cost songs. Like you think that's obvious, right? But I forget that you can play Baloo and then sing Strength of a Raging Fire or Storm Rage on with Baloo too. That's kind of nice. The library, a gift for Belle. This card is super cheap right now. Yeah, it's been going up in price a little bit over the weekend, but it's still less than $1. They're about 50 cents each. There's only one listing each per person, but you can probably find them for about $1 each. And the reason I bring this up is because Ed Chu played 4 of them in his Ruby Amethyst deck. And I think Library is correct and broken, and I hate myself for not playing more. Lowest verified for the cold foils, though, 11.50 now. These are getting expensive, no longer in the $4 to $5 range. These were selling for less than $5, and bam, now they're going to be more than $10. 11.50 by Ziggs Card House for your cold foil libraries. But that's going to be all for your meta trending cards. I want to go over some enchanted rares that I feel need to be talked about. Tinkerbell Giant Fairy selling for less than $300 now. This one from the first chapter. I've been kind of waiting to see if this is going to go up to $300, but there's just more and more listings, and now it's looking like it's around 280. So they're still not really moving, and first chapter was used at the side events for the North American Continentals. Zach, I'm sure you're aware that they had some like on-demand games of like first chapter, second chapter draft. So there were some more enchantments that were pulled over the weekend for sure. Starlight Games LLC, lowest verified, 280 for your Tinkerbell Giant Fairy. Cinderella Ballroom Sensation is the next one I want to talk about because this one has been going up just a little bit in the last couple weeks. These are now $300 at least. 300 with $5 shipping, 309 by California Lorcana singles, and then it jumps to 325. So there's only a couple listings that are left around that $300 range, so not too bad there for your Cinderella Ballroom Sensations, but I can see these going up. You know, I still think the Rise of the Floodborn is a great set, and this, in my opinion, is probably one of my favorite enchanteds next to like the Elsa. Like I think this is up there with like Elsa and Belle, maybe. You know, they're princesses, right? I really enjoy the classic princess look. But that's it for the enchanteds. Let's go over the D23 collections. These have been going down a little bit. You can find them now for less than $300, around $270 by Universal TCG Galaxy right there. I see a lot of people trying to list these still for $300. But if you go on like OfferUp and Facebook, you find people trying to get rid of these for like way cheaper. So I personally wouldn't get these online on eBay or TCG Player. Stuff like this I definitely want to look for on eBay or OfferUp. But if you're not in like the areas where these were sold, I can imagine it was a little harder to find. And first chapter booster boxes still selling for more than $300, not $350 anymore. That's not the lowest verified. Card Crack has them for $340, so a little bit cheaper than it was a couple weeks ago. They have 2 of them ready for you right there. But you know, like we are saying, you can get the first chapter in Chinese. Are you going to be able to get it in Japanese and other languages in the future? So I guess technically the first chapter isn't done printing. But for sure, I haven't seen any like Target or retail shelves, or and I haven't seen any LGSs have any first chapter either. Have you, Zach?
Very little have sealed boxes. I know some people that have cases tucked away, and some of them are even first print. If you know, you know. But packs, I every once in a while I'll see someone selling packs or someone selling the loose sleeve blisters for a lot more than what you can find on market, and it's done in a way so people will they'll have it in the shop available to see. If somebody wants to spend the amount of money and get it, they could buy it right there, buy it now. But I understand just having something to be, more as a placeholder. And I get it, right? It's counterintuitive. Why would you want to sell something? But the idea of coming to a place that has stuff and it has things to look at, price maybe more than what the market is, but I understand the image and the presentation, how important that is, right? It's just like adding to your collection, and you kind of want something to look good, and that's the emphasis that I kind of want to say. Like no one has to buy things that are more than what they're willing to spend, and that's the beauty of secondary markets. You can kind of look elsewhere. But yeah, to find these out in the wild, sealed in multiple quantities is pretty rare. So I do implore people to kind of look and go and offer up, go on other marketplaces that aren't just local game stores. Ask people within your community. Someone might have a box or two laying around. You never know. Somebody might be not selling it now, but they, you can let them know, hey, keep me in mind if you ever do get rid of it. It kind of just plant that seed, right? And that's kind of the point here, is that you got to ask around. You got to do your due diligence, and it's important to abstain all, or try to abstain from, paying more than what you want to pay. But there is online marketplaces, there is places to get it directly to you, and I like that about this game.
Yeah, the first chapter is pretty popular, and we're not like beating each other up for it anymore, like we used to. At least not for the Lorcana. Have you seen those videos, Zach, of like the Pokemon craze that's been happening like lately again? There's people like actually just fighting in Costco's for Pokemon, and I hate to bring up another game because obviously this is a Lorcana Market Watch, but we do TCG stuff. So if you guys do run into stuff like this in the market, be nice to your fellow trading card game enjoyer. I don't think there's a reason to really like psych yourself out that much over some card games. Like, of course, there's always some chases and some hits and whatnot, and there's hype, and I totally understand. But like, I think to see stuff like that, I'm like, oh my goodness, like I'm so glad the days of like first chapter being like that are over. I mean, there's like a running meme where I see like Lorcana just stuck on the shelf, and I get why. Like, there's not a big incentive to want to pull packs because like you're just pulling for an Enchanted, and it's so hard, right? There's not other like alt arts to get. But yeah, I do want to say good luck to anybody who's playing set championships this weekend. Go win those scars. Join our Discord. Let us know if you win scars. Drop your deck list, please, so we can share it in a video next week. If you end up getting top 8, if you get first place with a scar mat or something, our Discord is in the link below. There's other ways to support in the description below as well. If you guys would like to do that, it really helps out the channel. Or you guys can like, comment, and subscribe if you're a Lorcana Goon, because that also helps support the channel. My name is Kevin. This has been the Market Watch with Zach Stone. Can't wait to see all those scar winning deck lists. But until then, stay tuned to Lorcana Goons, and we'll see you goons next time.